We just had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
So easy.
All right, settle down, folks. We got some piping hot tea to spill today, fresh from the digital rumor mill. You ever seen a breakup so messy it makes your ex's text messages look like Shakespearean sonnets? Well, hold on to your joysticks, because what went down between Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal after HBO allegedly pulled the plug on The Last of Us Part 3 and gave Bella the boot, it's pure, unadulterated, popcorn-worthy drama.
People hated The Last of Us Part 2. It was massively divisive.
Now, for those of you who've been living under a rock, or perhaps a very comfortable blanket fort since the pandemic, The Last of Us was this gritty, emotional masterpiece. And Bella Ramsey, bless her heart, stepped into Ellie's shoes. Initially, everyone was like, who's this kid? She doesn't look like the game. Then, she opened her mouth, delivered a line with more sass than a teenager, on a sugar rush, and suddenly, she was Ellie. She became the heart of that show. So you'd think a performance that compelling would earn you, a lifetime contract, or at least a courtesy email. But no. According to the whispers louder than a clicker in a quiet hallway, Bella found out about The Last of Us Part 3 being scrapped, and her own quiet dismissal, the same way you find out your favorite local diner closed down, through hushed tones, online forums, and the chilling silence from the powers that be. Not a single farewell, not a thanks for the memories, just poof, gone. You spend years pouring your soul into a character, and then one day, you're just not there.
The Last of Us was plagued by complaints of bad casting, and The Last of Us 2 is not faring much better.
The creator of the show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits Season 2 was a failure.
It's enough to make you want to go full zombie apocalypse on the nearest corporate office, isn't it? But here's where it gets even spicier. Because while Bella was reportedly reeling from this news, trying to figure out why her biggest gig just vanished into thin air, a new layer of betrayal started to unfold. And this layer came from someone she trusted, someone who was supposed to be her rock in that desolate landscape. We're talking about none other than the Pedro Pascal himself. Yes, that charming internet daddy phenomenon, the man who was Joel. You'd expect him, of all people, to reach out, right? A consoling text, a sympathetic emoji, anything. But according to the scuttlebutt, the phone stayed silent. The text never came. It was radio silence from Joel to Ellie, and not the dramatic, emotional kind, but the deafening, I've got my own career to think about kind. Now, if you've ever had a friend who conveniently disappears when things get tough, you know that sting. But when that friend is your on-screen apocalyptic father figure, and you've spent years building this undeniable bond, that's a whole other level of ouch. Bella reportedly felt utterly abandoned. And let's be real, who wouldn't? You're out there fighting fictional mushroom zombies, but the real enemy turns out to be quiet neglect? The plot thickens even further when you consider the rumors that Pedro might have known about The Last of Us's uncertain future long before Bella did. While she was reportedly still fighting for Ellie's emotional truth in a potential Season 3, pushing for a darker, more complex narrative, Pedro was allegedly already lining up his next big roles. We're talking Marvel, Star Wars, and the big leagues. It's like you're planning a surprise party for your best friend, and they've secretly already booked a flight to Bali without telling you. You just stand there, holding the balloons, feeling a little foolish. So, what did Bella do? Did she throw a tantrum? Did she blast HBO on TikTok? Nah. She went full silent assassin. The internet, ever vigilant, noticed a shift. Her social media started shedding The Last of Us content, like a snake sheds its skin. Producers unfollowed, mentions of HBO vanished. It was a digital cleanse, calculated and deliberate, and frankly, louder than any shout. But then came the post that really set the internet ablaze. A single black and white photo. Bella alone, head bowed, with 5 words. Loyalty is louder than silence. No emojis, no hashtags, just that cryptic yet powerful declaration. And immediately the fandom got it. They felt it in their bones. This wasn't just an actress mourning a canceled show. This was a person calling out what felt like a personal betrayal. The heartbreak was palpable, and suddenly, the alleged silence from Pedro, the alleged corporate coldness from HBO, it all had a face. Bella's power, and for fans, it became a rallying cry. Justice for Bella started trending faster than a new TikTok dance craze. Now, while this public drama was unfolding, more whispers started seeping out from behind the scenes. It turns out, Bella wasn't just a talented actor, she was an artist with a vision. She reportedly pushed for a third season that would delve deep into Ellie's trauma, her losses, her mortality, a storyline that wasn't about cheap thrills but raw, emotional honesty. But apparently, HBO had other plans. They wanted something broader, something more marketable. You know, the kind of show you can slap on a lunchbox and sell globally. Not necessarily the one that rips your heart out and stitches it back together. So, meetings reportedly grew tense. Bella, for her refusal to compromise on Ellie's emotional truth, was apparently seen as difficult. Not unprofessional, mind you, just uncompromising. And in the cutthroat world of Hollywood, where commercial viability often trumps artistic integrity, that apparently made her expendable. It's like being told your perfectly brewed artisanal coffee is too niche for a market that just wants sugary frappuccinos. And while Bella was fighting that fight, guess what Pedro was allegedly doing? He was allegedly preparing for his grand exit. While Bella was pouring her heart into the role, sources claim Pedro was already deep in negotiations with Disney and Marvel. Imagine being at the wrap dinner for your show, celebrating what you think is a temporary farewell, only to find out your co-star, your on-screen protector, has already lined up his next blockbuster, possibly even signed on the dotted line. It's like finding out your ride or die friend has secretly bought a one-way ticket to Mars while you're still packing for a weekend camping trip. A source present at the final wrap dinner reportedly said they saw the light go out in Bella's eyes when she realized Pedro had already made his plans. It wasn't just losing a job. It was realizing she'd been left behind, in her eyes, by someone she considered family. The silence from Pedro, the alleged moving on before the dust had even settled on The Last of Us, that's what truly shattered her. And in the high-stakes world of Hollywood, where loyalties are often as fleeting as a trending hashtag, that silence spoke volumes. It wasn't just a goodbye to Ellie. It was, for Bella, a goodbye to a friend who seemed to have already moved on. And that, my friends, is a story that's far more brutal than any zombie apocalypse. What do you think? Did Bella deserve better? Let us know in the comments below.